Hey there! So today we are going to crochet a dishcloth. This is going to teach you 3 different stitches, and this is a perfect project for an absolute beginner. I'm going to show you how to get the yarn on your hook, how to make a basic chain, how to do the 3 different stitches, and then you'll have your own handmade washcloth to use. This is a project that you can get done in a day, more like, I don't know, an hour or so. I never am able to sit down and work on something from start to finish, so I don't know how long it really takes, but not that long. And I decided to do this project. I know there's a lot of tutorials out there for crochet, but I thought it would be fun for my readers to have a tutorial from me. And Tara from She's Rooted Home presented a fun challenge for the year where you make a handmade item for your home every day for the month of every month for the year of 2021. So I thought that was a really neat challenge, just to learn to kind of have more handmade items and then to learn some new skills. So we're going to make this washcloth, and to get started you are just going to need a crochet hook. This one is a 6mm, but you could use a 5mm as well. This is 100% cotton yarn from Bernat, and I think it's called Sugar and Cream. Maybe they make a nice 100% cotton yarn as well. If you're looking for more instruction, of course there's lots of videos. I really like this book, Crocheting School, a complete course. My grandma tried to teach me how to crochet, but I just could not learn from her very easily. So I checked out a bunch of books at the library when I was a new mom and just looking for a creative outlet, and this was one of my favorite books, so I ended up buying that. It teaches you all the basic stitches. So if you're going to crochet, to start you need what's called a slip knot. And to make a slip knot, you just get a nice tail, you wrap it around your finger to make a loop, you stick your needle through, and you're just grabbing that tail and pulling it through this little loop. Okay, you pull your tail. This is called a slip knot, and of course it's called a slip knot because it slips. It can go loose when you pull on the main part that comes from the ball of yarn, and then it goes tight if you pull on the tail. Okay, so when you're working with your crochet, you don't want it to be so tight that it's difficult for this loop to slide up and down. It's going to want to slide on the hook pretty easily. But you don't want it so loose that your work looks sloppy. So just keep it tight enough that it's a nice tight stitch. Okay, so you're actually, the part that goes to the ball is going over my finger and behind. So I'm sorry, I said that wrong the first time. And then my ring finger and my thumb are holding the tail, actually. So it's like this. So your first stitch, this is called yarning over. So you're getting the yarn over, hooking it, and then you just pull it through this loop like that, okay? So hold tight with your thumb and your ring finger. You're yarning over, pulling it through. There you've chained 2. For this washcloth, you're going to chain 32. So we have 30 more stitches to go. So yarn over, pull it through. And as the chain gets longer, I move my ring finger and my thumb up to grab it and pull it tight. It just makes it easier for me to work. So yarn over, pull it through. Okay, and if you lose count as you're going, no problem. Just stop and count how many you've done. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 done, so I need 30 more. Or not 30 more, 28 more. Goodness. Okay, so just yarn over and pull it through. Make sure you have enough yarn to work with. Of course, you probably wouldn't be sitting at a table like this to work, or maybe you would, I don't know. I like to sit on the couch or someplace comfortable and just have the yarn, maybe even the ball fall to the floor, and then it's easier to pull your tail out. What's nice about crochet is you can walk away from it. You can mark where you are with a paper clip or whatever, or you could just recount your chain and see. You want to try to keep your stitches fairly even, but don't get all wound up about that in the beginning. If your stitches are loose or uneven, it really doesn't matter. You're making a washcloth, you're going to have something that you can use when you're done, something that you made, and that's really the whole point. And you're learning something new. So don't worry about perfection. Let that go. Okay, so I'm going to count here. Since I was talking, I lost count of how many stitches I have. So, 1, 2, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. There's my 32 chains. So if you look at that, it looks kind of like a braid. Okay, so now we're going to work into this chain, and we're going to be working a single crochet. So when you go to turn your work, you skip that first chain, you go right into the next chain. And so when you're going into the chain, you're looking at it from the top and it looks like a braid, and you just go right through the middle of that. A single crochet goes through the middle with nothing else but the loop on your hook. You grab that yarn, you pull it through the loop, and then you pull it through. You grab some more and you pull it through both loops one time. That's a single crochet. All right, I'm going to show you that again. Go right into the next chain. Go through it. The only thing you have on your hook right now is the loop. You go through that chain, grab your yarn, pull it through once. You've got 2 loops on there. Pull it through again. That's a single crochet. Okay, through the top, pull it through once, pull it through both loops, single crochet. So you're going to work this into every chain on here. Do a total of 31 stitches going back because you skipped that first chain. This, I think the first row is always kind of the most difficult because it's wanting to curl up and you feel like it's getting kind of wild, and don't worry. The more you work, the tighter it pulls everything and kind of makes it come together. And once you get a longer tail, it's a little easier to hold on to. So see, now that I'm working into this, I'm trying to pay attention to how I'm holding my hands. You just kind of do what feels the best for you. I still have it going up over that, the part that's connected to the ball is going up over my pointy finger, and I'm holding it between my pointy finger and my middle finger. And I'm kind of holding this with this hand while I work as well. So I'm going into that loop. Okay. So see how I did that? I'm holding with my thumb and my ring finger there. Go through. Okay. So on this first row, you kind of have to use both hands to hold it when you go through. I've got this kind of tucked in. This tail's tucked in my hand. So go through. See, and it just kind of glides nicely in and out. Okay, we're approaching the end here. So I've got one more chain to work into. I'm going to work into that. My last single crochet. Okay, so when we turn our work this time, we're going to chain. You chain and then you turn your work and start working back in the other way. Now, I made a washcloth following somebody else's tutorial, And for a single crochet, she had us chaining 2 before we turned our work. From what I've read and what I understand is if you're doing a single crochet, you only need to crochet 1 chain before you turn your work. And that's what I'm going to do for this project, is crochet 1. Now, you know, you can, when you're beginning, it might be hard to see when you turn the row. I'm going to put a little paper clip. I don't have fancy crochet markers, but I'm just going to use a little paper clip. And I'm going to mark this last stitch here so that when I get to the end of the row, I know that that's my last stitch and I'm not going to accidentally work into the chain. And you'll see what I mean as we go. So I'm just going to hook this in there so I can remember that. So when I say we're going to chain to turn, I'm just going to make 1 extra chain here. That gives us a little room to turn. And when we turn our work, all we're doing is flipping it around this way, just like that. Now we're going to go working back this direction. Okay, and we're just going to do another row of single crochet. So when we turn our work, we're going to go right into that next stitch. We have 1 chain. We're not going to work into the previous stitch. There's a couple different ways. I want to make sure I make this clear. So there's different ways to work a single crochet in. You could go behind the loop, you could do on the front loop. We're going to go underneath both. So if you look at this piece of the sample from the top, it looks like a chain across the top. Okay, there's the option of, if you wanted like a ribbed effect, you could work into the back side, just going through one part of the chain right here, or you could work into the front side here. What we're going to do for this is we're going underneath both of those. So see, I'm putting my hook right underneath, going through both of those. All right. Let me get situated here. Okay, so we've turned our work. We're going this direction now. We went through. We're going to grab our yarn, pull it up, pull it through both loops. There you go. Okay, just like that. So we're going, you can kind of see the hole there that we're going through. So we're going right through there. We're hooking it, pulling it through, and then 1 time through. Okay, we're going to go all the way down this row. Now, what if you mess up? I know that I did just right now. Okay, I missed going through both loops. So all you do is pull it out, get back on that loop. You see what I did here is I just accidentally hooked one front side rather than going through both or going under both. Okay, so just start again. Or what if you don't catch your mistake? Don't worry about it. It's just a washcloth. Keep going. What if you get to the next row and you realize, oh no, I only went through one of those loops? Don't worry about it. Okay, it will be just not even noticeable at all. Just keep going. Don't rip out all your work. Keep going and make your washcloth. And then your next one, you'll do even better. Okay, so just like this, working in. It's very relaxing once you get the hang of it. It's a very relaxing and nice hobby, something that you can sit down. You can do this while you're talking to somebody, and you know, it's not like you have to really keep count of what you're doing as you go. You know, you're just going back and forth. If I was doing a more intricate project, yes, I would probably need to be counting and that sort of thing, but I'm not. It's just a washcloth. Say we're going to do 1 extra chain. We're going to turn our work. And then we're going to go right in to the next stitch. And then you continue to do this single crochet for 4 rows. This is our 3rd row we're on. And what I should have done is marked that. point in marking it like I did is to try to keep it square. Okay, this is our last one here. Okay, so I am on my fourth row of single crochet stitches. I'm approaching the end of this, and so now we're going to learn a new stitch. So I've got my marker here that tells me, you can see why I have this marked here. This is showing me this is my last stitch. Don't work into any of this chain here. We're going to take this out. It's going to show me that's my last stitch I need to work into there. That helps to keep your project square. Okay. It's a little tight. Okay, so I'm going to pull it through. That's my last stitch there for this row. So now I'm going to do what's called a double crochet. So for a double crochet, before you turn your work, you chain 3. So like for the double and treble, the way I remember it, it's one more. You're chaining one more than the number you're doing. So I'm doing a double, so I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3 chains. Now I'm turning my work, which means I'm just flipping it around. I'm gonna go that direction. So now I take these. So you're going to wrap the yarn around the hook one time. So when you did a single, you just went right into the hole with nothing on your yarn. This time for the double, you wrap the yarn around one time. You're going into that first hole. You're pulling the yarn through, and you've got 3 loops on your hook. You pull it through the first 2. You got 2 on there, and then you pull it through again. So I like to think of it as 2 motions. So see, you've made a longer stitch here. Okay, so I'll show you that again. So what you're doing is you wrap it around once, you go through the hole, grab your yarn and pull it up. You pull it through the first 2, wrap it around, pull it through the first 2, and then you do that again. So you're doing that 2 times, double crochet, okay? And it makes it come up 2. So wrap it around once, go through, grab your yarn, pull it through, go through 2, got 2 on there again, go through 2, double crochet. Let's see what that looks like. Wrap it around, go through the hole, pull it through, so you've got 3 on the hook, pull it through 2, now pull it through those 2, okay, double crochet, wrap it around, through the hole, pull it through, pull it through 2, pull it through 2 again. So you're going to do this all the way to the end, pull it through, and pull it through again. So you can see what that's creating there. The single crochet were just kind of a shorter stitch. This is giving you a little height there. Wrap it around. Okay, so we're just going to go all the way to the end with this. Okay, now I'm approaching the end of this row of double crochet. Whoops, messed up there. Start talking. So wrap it around, go through, pull it through. So you've got 1, 2, that's your double crochet. didn't mark this because I forget to mark, but you can see a lot of times where your last stitch is, but I'm gonna try to remember to mark this one. So I'm just gonna take a paper clip. Little crochet markers, I'm sure, are easier to work with. Okay, I'm gonna mark that. So now we've done 4 rows of single and 1 double crochet. Now we're going to do our treble crochet, which just is a triple. So like I said, you're going to chain 1 more than what you're doing. So I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn our work, which just means we're flipping it around, working into it the opposite direction. Got 3 on the hook. You've yarned over twice. Go through, you pull it through, so now you have 4 loops on the hook. Pull it through 2, yarn over again, pull it through 2, yarn over again, and you pull it through 2. That you did that 3 times, so see, you get a nice long stitch there. I'll show you again. Yarn over twice, go through that next hole, pull it through. You've got 4 chains on there, 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull it through 2 of them. Yarn over, pull it through 2, that's the second time. Yarn over, pull it through 2, and that's your treble crochet. Yarn over twice, 3 loops on there. Go into your next stitch. Yarn over, pull it through, so you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull it through 2, that's 1. Pull it through 2, that's 2. Pull it through 2, that's 3. That's your treble crochet. So now you can see what we've done there. You've done 4 single, a double, and now a treble. You're going to work this all the way across to the other row. Yarn over twice. Go through that next stitch, pull it through, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're approaching the end of this row, our treble crochet, 1 more stitch here. Okay, so you can see this is kind of like becoming a little moon shaped. It will tighten back up. It'll be more square once you do that because you've done looser stitches. So the next row of single stitches will pull that back together. So to finish that, you are going to do 4 rows of that single that we learned, a double, a treble, another double, 4 rows of single, a double, a treble, another double, 4 rows of single, double, treble, double, 4 rows of single. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections of single, 2, 4, 6 sections of double, and then just 3 sections of treble. And that'll give you a nice square washcloth. Now, to finish these off, you would need a little tapestry needle, and I did not bring one up here with me, but it's pretty straightforward. You're just looping it through this, and you're just going to kind of weave this tail back in. For something like a washcloth, honestly, I think it's fine. You know, if you're wanting to finish it off, by all means do that. I think it's fine to either just chain this and leave a little tail on it to hang it up, or for me, I like simple, and I'm just going to put a knot in this. Get my little scissors and just snip the tail off. and that's not going to come undone, and it's just fine. Okay, so the same thing here. It's already pulled through tight. Yeah, you could just go through here like this and then tie your little knot. Find a little hole. But of course, you know, if you feel the need to finish it a little better than that, you sure could. Go through a couple times like that. I'm going to tie a little knot. Okay, so something that I wanted to show you, when you're all done, I showed you on the end that you can kind of weave it back in or just tuck it in and tie a knot. Another thing you can do is put a bit of a border around the edge. And so on this one, that's what I did. And I'm showing you the difference. And all I did was work a single crochet all around the edge. I didn't cut the yarn or anything like that. And I just worked it in. I worked it into the border all the way around. So on the sides here where you would be getting into your stitches, on the singles, I just went into the hole next to it and worked a single crochet in. On the triples, I worked 3 stitches in. On the double, I just worked 2 stitches in, and so on and so forth all the way down the side. Kind of gives it a little bit more finished look. But what I really wanted to show you was the end here. You might not know how to just finish it. That was a question I had when I first started. So let me show you where I am. Okay, so I got to the end here. The way it goes. The yarn was kind of coming apart. Okay, so I can show you, I'm just worked that last stitch in there. Okay, just a single crochet like I showed you. And then you want to be done. So in order to do that, you chain 1 more. Then you just take your scissors and leave yourself a tail big enough to weave it back in. Snip that off. And then this stitch, you're just pulling it all the way through. Like that. And that fastens it off. So then this tail, I guess the easiest way is a tapestry needle, and I just don't have one. I couldn't find one. So, you know, if you're in a pinch and you don't have one, just take your crochet hook and kind of weave it. Let me try that again. Say something's easy and then get hung up. You can do this however you please, just so that it doesn't look super conspicuous, you know. Just pull that through. Look through to the other side. So say you can't even see where that tail is going. So I'm sure there's lots of other methods for doing this as well that you could find, or you could make your own up, kind of like what I just did. You know, again, it's a washcloth, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But so then when you get to the end, you can just tie off a little knot, and then your pretty little washcloth is all done. So I hope you give this a try. Thanks, friends.